Hello there, my name's Paul Wooldridge and I'm the Careers Manager at King Ed's College. These are a number of slides with information for the HE Parents Forum, which is an annual event where we would like to offer information and support to parents regarding university and students' progression there after year 13. Normally we'd ideally like to be having this conversation in person with a large group in the main hall, but obviously due to COVID restrictions we're doing the video online so everyone can access it. First of all, the main aims of this brief presentation are to outline some important information about why students choose university and a bit of an introduction to UCAS. There's also some important student finance information that parents would like to be made aware of, and there are resources available close to this video that you can access and find out directly from the universities. So first of all, why university? 80% of the students at King Ed's do progress on to university, and it's the most common route for A-level students. There are also other possibilities, things like apprenticeships and so on, but they certainly can be hard to find. They generally tend to be fewer at higher degree levels, and those that there are can be very, very competitive. They are, however, growing in number, and the opportunities are certainly there to be considered, but it still remains the most popular route to go to university. Employment is obviously another possibility. Students can go straight into employment. Again, the kind of competition for places is something to be considered, and also an awareness of the training that's involved and whether that's going to lead them to their future career aspirations. As far as why students choose university, there's the great deal of personal development that's involved. Students going away possibly to university find their improvements in their confidence, communication and their own reliance. It expands horizons. Independence is certainly a large part of it, a lot of new experiences and the opportunity to make hundreds of new friends, and also enjoy being a student, which is something that they would not normally get the chance to do later on. It also improves your job prospects. Going to university, it's an opportunity for students to study something that they really enjoy, and it's certainly required for certain careers. It's also rather flexible, and it's worthwhile realising that 70% of graduate vacancies ask for a degree, but they're not concerned with what subject it's in. So whatever subject is studied, it makes available 70% of the graduate student vacancies. Graduates also earn, on average, about £8,000 a year more than non-graduates. So those are some of the main factors why students choose to go on to university. The application process itself begins now at the end of year 12, and it's important that students begin their research into careers, courses and university. There's been a number of college events, online mainly, with talks and so on that students have accessed, and they've also got Unifrog, which is online software which they can use to compare and contrast a whole load of different careers and courses. And there's also important that students access the open days at the various universities, whether they are in person or online. At the end of year 12, students will be getting a better idea of what their predicted grades will be, or what they're hoping to get, and that will enable them to be looking at specific courses that are suitable for them. They'll also be instructed on how to register on UCAS during their tutorials, so that sets them up and enables them to begin their application. Then at the start of year 13 is when students actually fully start and fully complete their UCAS applications. So it's an ideal situation that students come in year 13 knowing which courses they plan to apply to. UCAS itself stands for the University and College Admission System. The students register, as mentioned, before the end of year 12, and they then request subject references either through Unifrog or directly to their subject leaders. It includes various specific details about the student's education, predicted grade and employability, and those are things, employment, those are things that students input themselves, and they also pick up to 5 university courses, 4 if it's medicine, as a 5th can be an alternate one. They also have to create a personal statement, which is obviously detailing various aspects of themselves, their interest in the subject and their experience and why they think they would be a suitable student to study that particular subject. This is then checked by the PT, and once everything's signed off, then students can pay online and send off their application. The overall reference is then added by their personal tutor, and it's sent off to UCAS before the January deadline. There's an early deadline for applicants to Oxbridge Medicine, Dentistry and Veterinary Sciences, Veterinary Medicine, and so students that are applying to those need to be aware of that and making sure that their personal statements and applications are prepared well in advance. Students then would receive offers through the UCAS track system. From those offers, students then can pick a firm choice. This is the course that students will go to if they get the grades that are put down there. And then there's also an insurance choice, and this is the course that students will go to if the grades they get are not as high as they wanted and aren't high enough for the firm choice. And then it's a case of awaiting the Year 13 exam results. As far as choosing a course is concerned, there's obviously a whole range of different kind of considerations that are important for each student. Obviously things like the grades required need to be suitable for the student themselves. The course content, a lot of courses have similar names, but they will differ in terms of the modules that students can take on how things are taught also, whether it's mainly could be laboratory or testing situations, whether it's mainly large auditorium lectures, or it might be smaller, less frequent tutorials. Also, how are these courses assessed? How much is coursework? How much are exams? If there's any particular career the student is interested in, does it meet the requirements to enable them to progress? And also things like the size of the university, where it is, whether it's a city or a greener campus setup, are all different in terms of the considerations for the student. And there's a whole load of different ways that students can find out more about it. The main very useful one, they can use UCAS website itself to search different courses, but also use Unifrog. As I mentioned earlier, this is an online system that students have access to, which not only allows them to read about specific jobs, but search for different subjects in more detail, as well as compare and contrast a whole range of all the different courses that are available to them in the entirety of the country. And there's also search possibilities there for other countries as well as specifics for Oxbridge and so on. So that's really an important factor to get stuck into. As mentioned, it's really important to also visit any particular universities that students are seriously considering, and so it's important to access any open days, whether they are actually in real life or virtually, to find out as much as possible to enable students to choose the best course for them. If you have any more information or you want any more questions, please drop us an email. My name is Paul Wooldridge, as mentioned, the Careers Manager, and the email careers@keds.ac.uk will get any questions to us. You can also visit UCAS, as mentioned, and contact the student helpline through Twitter and Facebook and so on. And as mentioned, we're putting up some links with videos with information on student finance, which should be accessible nearby. Hope that's been of use, and as I mentioned, don't hesitate to contact us for more information. Thanks very much.